Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to fourth grade math. Today, we are going to be learning all about place value. And we are going to more specifically be learning about numbers and operations in base 10. So by the end of this lesson, our goal is to be able to explain that in a multi-digit whole number, which means more than one, a digit in one place represents 10 times what it represents in the place to its right. Okay, we're going to learn more about that in just a moment. So an example of that would be recognizing that 700 divided by 70 equals 10. Okay, let's see. So giving an example, we're going to be reviewing what place value means. So in this number, how can we represent where the thousands column is? We are going to be looking at each of these numbers and identifying what place value they represent. So in the 2 is representing the ones column. The 6 represents the tens column. The 4 is in the hundreds, and the 9 is in the thousands. Remember that we have a comma. After we go to the 100, we have a comma that separates the thousands place. Okay, so this number would be said as 9,462. So we know that the 9 is in the thousands, yes? If we are looking at the millions, we know that after the first comma, we have the thousands place, right? So in order to find the millions, we need to go to the next comma, and our millions represents the number 9. So we would have, if we want to say this number, we would have 9,533,462. That's how we would say that number, okay? And then again, our 9 is in the millions. All right, so our activity today is going to be a game, which I think you guys will really like, and we are practicing place value. I pulled 3 different questions from this game in order to give you a little preview of some of the questions that you'll see. So the first example, question 1, says, what number is written 8,492? So notice that this number is written in expanded form, right? You see the numbers written 8, right, which is representing 8. So we know that our first number in our number needs to be that. And then we're looking for a comma, okay? 8,492. So let's look at letter A. Number A says 842. So that's not going to be our answer, right? B, it looks like 8,492. That's what we're looking for. So it looks like B is going to be our answer. Let's take a look at C. 492. Nope. And D, 8,942. So you really have to pay attention to the order that the numbers are in, right? Because if you're not paying close attention, you could accidentally write that D is your answer. So go back and double check your work. You will have a recording sheet in your group. So once you figure out the answer, you're just going to put the letter that represents the correct answer on your recording sheet. So question 1, the answer would be B. So you would put that in your sheet, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Question 2 says, which of the following is 10 times what the 5 represents in 30,254? So it looks like we need to find where in this number is the 5. So we look here and we see that it's in the tens column, okay? So we would need to multiply 50, since 5 is in the tens column, we would multiply 50 times 5, right? I'm sorry, 50 times 10 to figure out the answer to this question, okay? So we see that the 5 is in the tens. We know that the 5 represents 50 in this situation. So we're multiplying 50 times 10. And so our answer would be 50? No. 5,000? No. 50 times 10 is not 5,000, right? 50 times 10, is it 500? Yes, so our answer would be C. It would not be 5, right? That's not enough. So in question 2, we would mark that the answer is C on our recording sheet. Question 3 says, write the number in word form. So going back to question 1, we see that this is an example of writing a number in word form. We have 8,492. So what is this number and how are we going to write this? We would have 5 million, because remember that if you have 2 commas in your number, you're going to be in the millions. So 5,020,378. So you would need to write all of those words as this question, okay? So in your little slot at the recording sheet, you're going to write it in word form, okay? And that's where on the board I would write that out for them so they could see how to do that. And then here are just some reminders as you are all playing the game. You will be in groups of 3 to 4. You will be completing the recording sheet and checking your answers with your peer groups. Another reminder is to make sure that everyone in your group understands how you got the correct answer, okay? And double checking your work when you're finished. Take your time, walk through the steps to figure out the correct answers, and please do the activity correctly, okay? Making sure again that all members in your group understand how you got your answer, okay? And remember to help each other. If somebody's not quite clear, make sure that somebody in the group is helping them understand how you got to that answer. I will also be walking around helping you, and please raise your hand if you have a question. Something else, that if you get all of your current answers correct as a group, then you will be receiving a ticket. So make sure that you do this activity, remembering all of these things that we've talked about, okay? Working together, not going too quickly, checking your answers, okay? If you get all your answers correct, you get a ticket. So now I want to show you the actual game so that you guys know what it's going to look like. Let's see. If I can get to it. There it is. All right, so this is what your game is going to look like. This is going to be the recording sheet that I mentioned. And you have 24 questions that you are going to be answering, okay? These questions are going to be cards. So it is a fun game. And you will start probably with number 1, but you don't have to necessarily go in order. So number 1 says, what number is written 8,492? So again, we went over that same question. So you have to figure out, is it A, B, C, or D? So once you figure it out, which we figured out, it was letter B was the correct answer. So you would go down to your recording sheet. So each group will have a set and a recording sheet. And so in number 1, you would write the letter B, okay? So once you're finished, make sure you double check, and I hope you guys have fun. Remember, if you have any questions, please raise your hand and I will come around and help you. I hope you guys have fun.